what's good, y'all? Welcome to Players and Protagonists. It's your boy T. I'm kicking it with Mars, Cobra, Loa, Visions, and Talisman. So we're gonna open up with a little meme dump. Who's providing us with all the jokes?
Our viewers
I
and
might have a
our
little something.
protagonist fam to know. In the future, you could join our Discord and you could send in memes as well for us to laugh at right here during our meme dump. Feel free to get in on the action.
Yeah, I'm
All right, I
excited
got something
to
that I
see what
want to
other people
send,
got.
but
Send
absolutely.
it, send it.
All right, so I think
Okay. Stay hydrated. This
This
is a
is a threat.
Hey,
right.
hey, that's real.
Yeah, Angry
Yes.
Kirby's funny.
Especially
Yes.
after playing Super Smash, I don't want to get on Kirby's bad side.
You're going on a 10-hour
I've
road
already
trip.
seen this.
Whose car are you going with? We got Goku, Naruto,
Yeah.
Itadori, Gon, and first of all, no, that car is going off a cliff. Asta's
The
car,
one with
Who's
Masaroshi's
driving?
out of here.
yeah, because I guess Goku could drive though. Yeah, Master Roshi's got to go,
He
and
does
Jiraiya.
know how to drive,
Nah,
doesn't he?
yeah, Goku knows how to drive, so Goku's
He
probably
knows how
driving
to
this one.
drive.
Goku knows
I'm
how to drive.
probably
He drives
going
better than
Goku.
Piccolo. So
You getting in
He did get
Goku's
it.
car?
He did.
No,
He
no,
did
no,
do
no. There's too
the.
many annoying people in that car. Don't get in that.
there's annoying
Annoying.
people
But
in
look, I
all
But
can't
it's
ride with
not.
Master Roshi. He's a
It's
creep.
not worse than.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's not worse than
Jiraiya's
Asta's
car is
van.
a
I like,
hard
And
pass though.
Levi's
Like
van,
Jiraiya, Sanji,
yeah,
All right.
what's his
Jiraiya,
face from
Griffiths.
what's his face from Chainsaw Man. I'm trying to think of who is that dude from Banana Scandal? Is that who I'm looking at? I'm trying to think of who the guy next to Master
I don't
Roshi
know
is.
who that one is.
Yeah,
Asta's
but
van
either
is about to
way,
be lit. That's all I
There's
gotta
just
say.
they
nah,
won't shut
it's
up.
too
They're gonna be
loud.
It's gonna
screaming.
be.
Like
I
I can't
It's gonna be
deal
a
with
That
that.
yeah,
sounds like a
I
that
feel
sounds like
like
just a regular road trip to me.
nah.
that
I feel
is
like
that is a regular
if it
road
was
trip.
Yeah.
just like if it was
Everybody loud.
yeah, like if it
Goku's
was
van
just
does look
Kachan
annoying.
and Edward, I think I could live because as long as you don't call
No.
Edward short, he's good. As long as you don't get on Kachan's nerves, he's good. But Asta and why am I
Inosuke
forgetting
gonna want to fight somebody.
Wait, you're
Over
gonna
Inosuke
get
will
in.
fight
You
somebody.
like Bakugo's gonna get annoyed super easy and blow up the vehicle.
Okay.
He's gonna blow up the
But
vehicle.
Then
Bakugo is
you
also
decide to
adorable.
see
So
while
it's fine.
everybody's fighting.
I feel like
Jiraiya's
Levi's
van
fan
is gonna be boring. They gonna
Levi's
have
van
to
is the
Jiraiya
best
bro.
van.
They
as
gonna
a
have to
That's
woman,
what I'm getting
yeah,
Levi's van.
Everyone's
I don't
hating
know.
Goku's van, saying that they're annoying.
Rightfully
I
so.
like that
I
group.
I go.
It's
Yeah.
Luffy
I think
and
I
Goku
will
by
go with.
themselves looking on my nerves.
it's too many
Nah,
goofballs in that car. You
They
gonna get
pull
into an
nah,
over
accident
at
before you
least
reach the
8
parking lot.
times just
and just get
exactly. They pull
yeah,
over 8 times just to eat. They just
right.
ain't
Hey,
got no sense of
Or just
That's
X
watch
perfect
the
X
for
movie.
Factor
me.
None
is
of them.
Luffy.
Perfect. I'm
But
going
yeah,
to
that
that one.
doesn't sound like a
that's
bad thing.
Doesn't sound bad at all.
Goku, Gon,
X
they all
Factor
like to
here
eat.
in
Yeah.
that van is definitely Luffy though, because like he just always takes the reins and ends up getting everybody that he knows involved in something that they didn't want to be involved. Like I feel
Right.
like out of all of those, like if Luffy wasn't in it, of course, like it's gonna be annoying, but you're not gonna get sidetracked. You're
This
gonna
is true.
make it to your
Yeah.
destination at some point. Luffy's gonna
Yeah.
have you
Luffy's gonna have us showing up 4 days
elsewhere,
late. Everybody else
right?
is already done with the vacation and y'all just now pulling up.
And you're gonna fall in from the sky.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I would also get in Levi's car. I feel like I'm probably the person who would annoy them before anything else. So at least I'm the outlier, not the other way around.
Yeah, as long as you stay quiet as like them, you're fine.
I wouldn't be depressed. I'd be dead I feel like
They just talk
Madara,
about how much humans suck.
they would. The entire universe sucks.
Yeah.
Frieza would kill
No.
you on a whim. I might be all right with Aizen, so because Aizen at least had a purpose to his murder, so he might not just kill me randomly.
Oh,
Griffith
No,
is
no, no, no.
annoying.
I'm
I guess
getting
he's
in
not
that
a
car.
righteous murderers. We all love a good righteous
Hey,
murderer.
hey.
Hey,
Tell y'all
personal
why I'm not
love a
getting in that
righteous
car.
murderer. Yes. What'd
Because
you
I
say?
don't want to get caught in those slurs the second I get in that car. So I'm not getting in that car.
Facts, Griffiths, right?
Yeah, Frieza is about to
Yeah,
call you a monkey
you're
at
gonna
least
get
4 times.
experimented on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just
There's a
gonna use
version
you
of
as a
Yeah.
human
it. I remember there's a
experiment.
version
Turns
of
into
it,
the Hunger
but in
Games real
Griffith's
quick.
car, they also added Uncle Ruckus. And I was like, oh, wow.
Really not getting in that car.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like between
Black
Frieza and the rest of them. Frieza gonna call you a monkey at least 18 times. So
For
don't
real.
get
Right.
And Blackbeard's just the villain version of Luffy, so he's just a
also likely
Luffy
to
but
get.
bad
Yeah,
and crusty.
Yeah.
He's
yeah,
gonna
not a
stink
good
in there
look.
too.
Yeah, you're gonna come out that car
No.
traumatized.
He's a
So don't.
pirate.
If you survive, you will be traumatized for the rest of your life.
That's
Yo, I
I,
dumped another one.
oh yeah.
That's actually how it went in the
I
game
I
too.
think Aqua's I like Aqua's face. That's funny.
No, I didn't keep your weight.
Oh,
Gosh,
Yeah.
Aqua.
For real.
I'm
You're
happy that
too
that
late,
This is
happened.
just
Batman.
sad.
I've already
This
ordered
is
Little
this is a
Caesars and
sad
it's on the
post.
way to
Oh
every house
hell
in
no, man! What
Gotham.
the
Joker, you madman.
Soon everybody will have pizza for dinner. Hot and
Oh
ready.
no. Yo, is that
Wow,
pesto? Like, is that pesto?
that's not
Oh no,
okay
that green one
looking.
kind of looks good though.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
Hey
it does
yo,
That
that's
black.
not.
that's
It
the
is not.
What is this?
Sun color dye.
I feel
oh
like
god,
Joker
I feel
Goons
the
like
green
graffiti marinara glaze. The
nah.
Jokeroni.
You're going to
Jokeroni.
be you're going to be pooping green for the next 72 days. That's
Yo,
not
the
for real.
Bruce
anything
Wayne,
I want in my
man,
life.
let's go.
What's
No,
in
I
there?
don't
neither
It
know.
looks
one of
like a
those.
pizza
It's
just
white
full of
cheese, charred black, with
Charred
This
Sister
can't
black?
be real.
Martha's Pearl
ain't
Necklace
no way.
Ranch glaze.
Nah,
I don't
that's
Yo,
know
this
not
who
can't be
Martha
If
real.
it
is.
wasn't charred black,
his
It
mama.
can't be. Imagine
I think
though.
Martha was his mama, wasn't
Hey, the
it?
Jokeroni look like it go hard though.
No, it does
That's
not.
exactly
Neither one of those look
visions.
good. And don't char
Once
my pizza.
again,
If my white
what's
cheese
once
up?
becomes
again,
black
I'm on
cheese, I do not
second
want
Charred
it.
shift.
cheese
That looks
doesn't.
fire.
Nah,
I mean,
that's
T's the one
Oh,
that
nasty.
said
T.
that, but I will not I will not go against y'all.
Nah, that is absolutely disgusting.
Try at least one slice of that, but eating two slices of that
The
would
the
not be
Jokeroni or
it.
the Batman?
Mm-mm.
You can barely eat one
The
slice
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
Either.
Jokeroni, the
I
Jokeroni.
could, I could,
I ain't
I could do with the
touching the.
Jokeroni. I'm not touching that.
Yeah, I ain't touching the other
Oof.
I
ones
don't
with
like
a
Batman in real
10 foot
life.
pole.
I don't like that pizza.
Good idea.
Alright.
Okay.
Hey, energy.
Oh,
You
Energy.
don't gotta. You don't gotta
Yo,
be
Yep.
I
mad.
got
Be a
energy.
Batman
I got
lover.
another one. This one, somebody used AI to recreate Steve Harvey as Heihachi.
Oh
Oof.
god.
Oh,
Oh
Oh.
And
nah.
this is one of the frames. This is one of the frames. There's a
Yo,
Oh
bunch of other ones, but
no.
this is
yo, he's eating his
hmm.
fingers.
It's bad because it's
He's eating his
good.
fingers. I'm
No,
weak.
that is not okay.
Nah.
That finger is
uh,
Yo.
good.
No.
I think there's like a picture of Heihachi like biting his finger or something, and I think
Steve
that's
K.
what it's like
Harvey.
referencing.
That's Steve.
Ooh,
Hey, Harvey.
Yo.
No.
no.
That is evil though. What's all
I
Absolutely
the
not.
what's all the people in the back? Are those like just different variants of Steve Harvey?
Yeah, I think because it's AI, it probably tried to generate a bunch of other stuff.
That's frightening.
fumbled. That is a scary picture though.
Mm-mm.
I'm kind of shook. Yo. Well,
You
anyway.
know her? Oh,
Time to transition to the news.
Okay.
You should have had your meme commentary ready.
Dang.
We
Oh,
got news coming up.
Time
We
is
got
Ba,
up.
news.
ba, ba,
Time is
stay
ba.
up.
ready next time.
Yes.
dang.
Dang.
Hey,
Energy.
but for real
Okay.
though,
Another
who got the
topic for
news?
another
Who got
day.
the news? We got these memes, but who got the news?
Yo, I got news.
All right.
Wait,
I
wait.
can
You
let
brought the
somebody
memes.
go.
Anybody? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Anybody
good?
else got news before we let Talisman take it?
I don't even think I
Visions.
have or does Visions have news? I have news
Wait, I
about
have news.
I don't know. Do you
Nah,
have
I just
news?
didn't want anybody to not have time to get their news in. That's all.
Oh,
Oh, I feel
no.
that.
Yeah, I got you. Yes, I have news. The Twisted Metal TV show, I think the first episode came out this week, so I have not had a chance to watch it yet. But if anybody remembers Twisted Metal, it was like you in a car that had guns attached to your car, and I think you were like hunting down a clown dude or like a dude in like a giant clown ice cream truck or something. I
Mm.
only
Yeah,
played one
that
of
was
these
one of the
things.
cars.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely remember that ice cream truck, and like I think the clown dude is one of the main villains because he's always in the background of all the like I could see the cover in my head, and he was in the background of all of them. So I'm curious to see how this goes. It's supposed to be a comedy, so if y'all watch, let me
A
know.
Comedy.
comedy. That's gonna be
That's
Yeah,
twisted.
interesting.
Is
That
I
is
did
gonna be
not know
weird.
it was supposed
what's
to
it
be a
rated?
yeah.
comedy.
You may see
I
what it's
think
rated.
it's rated M for mature, but I'm gonna look now. Or M for
Gotcha.
mature. That's the video
Like,
game rating, but whatever the TV equivalent to that is.
When you say mature and comedy, it automatically makes me think Deadpool.
Mm.
So if it's anything like Deadpool, I'm in.
Mm.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if that was going to
Oh,
be a
y'all
good thing or
don't.
bad thing, but
Yeah,
I agree.
People don't like Deadpool.
no, I
I agree.
like
I like
No, I
Deadpool.
mess with
I
Deadpool.
don't know if
Deadpool.
I like Deadpool
Okay.
movies.
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
Oh,
so you don't
Really?
okay. I
Why
like
not?
see.
Ryan? I got you. You don't
What's
mess
wrong
with
with
What's wrong
Ryan
Ryan.
with Ryan?
Reynolds?
Ryan's cool.
He's the one that plays
What?
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
He's
said you don't like
I
the
didn't say
movies.
I said I don't know how I feel
Also,
about
I
the movie Deadpool, but I like Deadpool, the character himself.
Okay, I'm with it.
also I lied.
Yeah.
I don't think this TV show launches until like July, y'all. I'm a liar. I'm sorry.
Huh?
Wow, she out here
What kind of
lying.
news
Also,
is
I
it
am out
that?
here
doesn't.
lying.
She's
She
lying to
gave
our
us premature
fans.
Hey,
I'm
news.
sorry, fans.
The wiki.
Don't go look this up.
The wiki doesn't show
Mm-mm.
what the rating is.
Does it show when it launches?
It does not.
If you need to check the rating, you can't watch it.
Mature
hey,
audience.
for
It does
real.
show
Maybe
when
it
it
hasn't been rated
launches.
yet.
Maybe not. I
Even
guess
for
if it's
mature
not coming out
audience.
until July,
Want some
it might not
pizza?
be officially rated.
That Little Caesars made me want some
Right.
But I'm
pizza.
hoping that
Um.
I mean, the shows on
Green pizza.
Peacock lately they've been kind of playing loose and fast with ratings. So I'm kind of hoping they decide to make this a more mature one. We're going to
Okay.
see.
Well,
Well,
um,
I'm excited to see it. I'm interested in what it's gonna actually come out like.
Yeah, me too. We're going to
yeah,
see.
I got some. So I
Yes.
just put this into the Discord chat. But In Light is a multimedia studio. It looks like a multimedia
Hmm.
company, In Light, and their Japanese branch is working on this African anime called. Let's see what it's called. Let's see what it's called. MFINDA. I'm gonna pronounce that Mufenda. But
Okay.
Okay.
it's supposed to be about a girl who's transported or a character who's transported into the past, and they're
Mm-hmm.
exploring whatever past world they're with another person who is actually from there. And the whole aim of this anime is to bring Black and Indigenous stories to the front. It's called Aframe. That's what they call it, which is just short for Afro
Hmm.
anime. And so it looks
Uh-huh.
pretty
Hmm.
dope. I want some pictures to be popping up in a second. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to look at it. Otherwise, it's in the Discord.
All right.
Yes, I would
Cool.
That's
love for
dope.
us to put up a picture to
Yeah.
show people. I love this idea of having a platform for Afro anime or Aframe. I'm with it. Yes.
Yeah, that
Afro.
reminds me, the black bowling anime, that's name I'm forgetting right now, but I'm going to pull it up as I'm talking about it. It has been like the top bestseller on Amazon in the manga department. Or I said it was an anime, it's a manga, but it's a black manga about bowling. And it got featured in Shonen Jump. Like it just started with this dude who was doing a Kickstarter and loved the concept and of course the visuals of manga, but wanted to create something that was black. And Shonen Jump has picked it up, and so he's got like an official partnership with them now, and it's been bestseller. So
Wow, go
I'll drop that
ahead.
Nice.
in the Discord too. But it's cool to see this, black people kind of creating their own things, and you can still base things
Right.
around the art, but creating their own stuff.
Right. I've always
Hey,
liked that.
Yes,
hey.
And so Cannon Busters, that was made by black folks too, right?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
believe so.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
cool.
that was really dope. I definitely
Mm-hmm.
hope that more black owned animes get into mainstream
Yep.
because every one that I've seen at least, they've been good. It hasn't
Well, didn't
been
they
Yeah.
just open? Not just because it's been a minute, but wasn't there a black anime studio that opened in Japan recently?
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple
I did
years
hear
ago.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
nice.
Hey,
That's
we on
Well,
dope.
I
pandemic
love.
time, so a couple years ago was still recent for me.
Yeah. A couple years ago is equivalent to a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, we I appreciate that we're also using this platform to give shout out to Black creators.
Yes.
So we would definitely in the future have a specific time for shouting out Black creators because I love this. Letting people know what we're out here doing because a lot of times people don't have exposure to all of the ways that Black people are using our minds out of the ways that we're advertised.
Period.
Yes.
Right. On
Period.
gang.
Indeed.
On
Yes,
gang.
period. Proof. Okay.
Say
No
period, boo.
doubt.
Well,
I just
anybody else got news?
Oh yeah, I think
Oh
Talisman
yeah,
has
for
some.
sure. Yeah, I got a lot of news. Like the first. So there's Avatar. They kind of like. I think they just dropped a new date for the movie. And
Oh
Okay.
the first
yeah,
look,
with
I found a
the
video.
grown
I put that in the
people.
Discord.
Is this the live action movie or
Wait.
animated movie?
Animated.
Is
Yeah,
Okay,
anime?
this is.
word.
Wait. So is it canon? Like, is it the whole? Is it Avatar but in a movie, or is it like the sequel? or something.
If I recall, there's an
It's
animated
it's
movie that takes place in the events after the last Airbender. Is that what's
right.
going on, Dave?
Right, exactly. I just put
Sounds
an article in the Discord, and then there's a video where they release like the first images of it, not
I don't
like
really,
moving
I don't
images,
really,
but just like concept.
I don't know if I like how Aang looks in that photo, but I'm excited. I can't wait.
I mean, he looks like. I mean, he looks pretty close to what he looks like by the time he turns into old Manning. He
That's
just
true.
Yeah,
his head has
Wasn't
gotten
he like?
longer.
Wasn't he? I mean, I guess he was technically 110, but wouldn't he be still like youngish, or is this taking place like?
Well, I think this is taking place
yeah.
significantly in the future because you can see like everybody else is
Mm.
older too. Um,
Yeah. It
yeah,
looks like they're
Yeah, like
young
Zuko has long
adults.
Oh yeah,
hair.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
like they grown people now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
Right.
not seeing the Aang that you saw at the beginning of Legend of Korra. You're probably seeing a younger Aang, older than Last Airbender Aang, but much younger than Legend of Korra Aang.
Right,
Makes
exactly.
sense. So like that
Yeah,
mid ground. All right, bet.
mid-ing.
That's cool.
That's
Matter of fact, I don't know if y'all saw, there was some type of Avatar game that's going around now, but they released pictures of a younger version of Kyoshi without the makeup, and that was pretty interesting. I'm
Right.
gonna see
I
if I
don't
can
know
find
why
it.
I heard that there was supposed to be a new series with just Kiyoshi.
I heard
That'd be
about that
Trying to
too.
interesting.
find some. I'm trying to find the information on that.
Like a little prequel.
Kiyoshi Netflix new. Oh, so somebody's gonna be playing in the live action one for Netflix. Where it's about listen.
Yeah, they hyped up.
Who stars in the new Avatar? Talks about her role in the
Yeah,
upcoming
that's cool.
Avatar: The Last Airbender series for Netflix. While Chapman couldn't speak about what phenomenal adaptation. Okay, I don't know why I heard that Kiyoshi was supposed to get her own spin-off series, but that could have just been conjecture. I don't know.
I
Yeah, maybe
mean,
that's
I
she's a
don't know.
popular character, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen. Or maybe like if a rumor just got popular because she's such a popular character, but if it happens, it happens.
I'm with it.
Right.
definitely. Yeah.
All
Yo,
right.
okay. I'm about to drop something else too. This one's funny.
You just want to drop
This one's
This
memes
is
funny.
in the news.
in the news.
For real.
This isn't a meme. So Monster Energy has a lawsuit out against Monster Hunter and Pokemon, and maybe Digimon. There could be other companies, but they're
I
trying to
heard
sue them
about
because
this.
of their use of the word monster in their titles.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
They're
Webster
that's
about to get
wild.
Nintendo.
didn't have that first.
That's wild.
But the
Right?
funny thing
Like,
about this,
Crazy.
the funny thing
y'all
is
make the word
because who was it? Was it Universal? They tried to sue Nintendo for having a character with Kong in their name, and that's just reminded me of that.
monster.
Really? I did
Yeah,
not.
because Universal was
As
like,
in
"Yo, we got
Donkey?
King Kong. You can't have a character named Donkey Kong." And then the courts were like, "Yeah, they can."
And I feel like doing stuff like that where it's not even big like that, it still could be stressful for the people who made those characters, which I think should be focused more, especially like mental health in gaming. I feel like that should kind of be more focused, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
I
No, I
think
think
that is
that's
the
Yeah, no,
that's
pettiest
I
thing
definitely
definitely
ever.
agree. I think it's petty. Yep,
Just very
petty,
petty.
petty,
yeah.
petty,
Mm-hmm.
Petty.
It's
petty.
just like, how
Like
did
I
they
agree.
expect to win against Pokemon? Like, I don't think Monster is a bigger company than Pokemon is.
I
First
don't
of
even
all,
think it's good
second of all, they've
publicity.
had
Right.
their trademark since the '90s. So
I
Right.
Hey,
mean,
It's just makes them look petty and desperate. Like y'all low on money, now you just trying to get it wherever you can.
right.
what
Right.
would
well,
happen? What would happen if they won though? Like, what do you think they would call it? Like
Pokey
those series?
Pocket
creatures,
I was
Hmm.
gonna say pocket monsters with a U.
Yeah,
We're
Yeah.
gonna get
no,
Pokemons,
I would hate
by the
Pokemons.
monsters.
Yeah.
All
Pokemon.
right, y'all.
You're gonna have to
I
call them
appreciate
Pokemon.
I appreciate the energy of this conversation. I really like that we left off here. Shout out for Visions for making that transition, bringing up mental health. So we approach in May, or if y'all watching this video in the month of May, it's already May, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So boom, that's dope.
Yes,
Today's
sir.
topic is actually going to be anime and video games as a tool for mental health. What we mean by that is folks who engage in it for mental health reasons, or how can we see this type of media convey messages around mental health, themes around mental health? So that's what we're going to be diving into today. I know personally for me, I know a lot of different ways that games have helped me with my mental health, be it very open world games and the ambience of it helping me wind down after a stressful day. And I know that's not every mental health situation out there, but I feel like de-stressing is really good to keeping somebody's mental healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I
No, I
absolutely.
100% agree. I
yeah.
think it's about, having your coping skills. And for some people, their coping skill is sitting outside and listening to the birds. For some people, it's driving around on GTA and doing crime so that you don't do crime in real life. You know?
Okay, yo.
No, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Hey
Or
yo.
Hey,
sharpening
wait,
your
wait.
criminal
But I
skills.
want to endorse that message though. Do crime in GTA, don't do crime in real life.
Indoors,
Period.
yes,
big
that's what I'm
Yup.
saying.
letters. GTA
Yes.
crime.
Big endorsed,
Yeah,
yes.
don't do
Don't
crime
try
in
this at
real life.
home. Just on the game.
But I
Yes,
also
but
I'll
no,
try to
Try this in
right, just
GTA.
on
Just
the
on the game.
game. But I also saw
yes,
something. I'll try to find the article, but there's been a lot of studies done by psychologists on how mental or how video games do actually help. I think psychologists, whichever one of them it is that do studies. But but it was
Whichever one.
on how video games do help you cope with your mental health as long as you're using them healthily. Like playing a fighting game helps you decompress after a stressful day at work because you are getting that energy. It's the same as how people might go boxing when they're stressed or when they're pent up, right? It's like it's a physical way to
Hmm.
get that surplus energy out. And video games kind of serve that same purpose where when you do have that pent up, like, oh, I'm so mad right now, or there's nowhere I could take this out. Video games are an outlet for that. So there's been a lot of research done on how there are actually healthy ways in coping that people have seen via
Hmm.
video games. So, and
You know
personally,
what
I
I
definitely
like to murder things when
Period.
I'm upset. So, yeah.
right.
murder.
I think one of the dopest games, at least for me, whenever I wanted to relax, there's like back in the day because it's kind of like not there anymore. But PlayStation Home, I feel like it was just a
How
vibe to
about
just
that?
hop on and just chill, ride your bike, do do stuff. And I really
Yeah.
miss
Hey,
it, but it
that's
was really
dope.
nice.
It's like The
I,
Sims with me. I
it
used to
was like
spend
The
so much
Sims.
time on The Sims just making people live
Yeah.
lives, you know?
Right.
But for me,
Like
it
we
was a
weren't,
good way for me to enjoy my off time.
Right.
yeah. I forgot about PlayStation Home. And I think Visions, you were literally the only person I played PlayStation Home with. So like I only logged on when you were on. So, but yeah, it was
Oh.
relaxed. You could like buy a house. You could get like little trophies. I got this little like Japanese cat. I can't remember his name. Something Neko. He's like this little white cat. You actually, I think one of y'all have him as your avatar. But he's like a little white cat with ears and like dot eyes. But he
Okay.
or used to have him as an avatar on the PSN. But yeah, he was just like they're like PlayStation's Japanese mascot a little bit. They only exist in Japan, but you can get him as a pet in PlayStation Home, and that was my whole goal when I was playing Home.
That's dope.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love living realistic situations in game.
Right.
That's real.
They
No doubt.
yeah,
Um,
And I think like a lot
mhm.
of anime and especially like RPGs normally have characters that suffer from, traumatic events like PTSD, having like mental illness, and seeing those characters get chances to overcome that or like even go through that and having bad moments and still like being able to develop can be really good for for the viewers, because it kind of normalizes their experience if they're having something similar, or at least seeing somebody being able to like conquer something personal like that.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
yeah,
Because the first thing that came to mind when you started talking about that was lookism. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who genuinely like felt happy and appreciated that lookism was a thing that existed because they're able
Mhm.
to, relate to this story and, you know,
Yeah.
feel good about it.
yeah.
Representation
Mhm.
definitely matters for that reason. It gives us the opportunity to address, not only the struggles, but how resilient we are, you
The
know?
fact that it's just
Mhm.
even being talked about.
Definitely.
Like I thought about, I forget his name from JoJo. Do 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 do. But he was bipolar.
Which one?
Doppio?
Oh,
Yeah, so it
Doppio.
was
Oh,
exaggerated for
Oh,
that.
Utopia.
It was
Yeah,
just make light of it and fun and they are at least bringing it to light, talking about it.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
I feel
Right.
like with JoJo, come to think of it, I think every single villain had something
They had some.
about
Yeah,
Yeah.
them.
they were dealing with
Yeah.
something.
Right.
Yeah. I do feel like
You better
because
stop stalking
bringing up
girls before you end up collecting their hands. Is all I'm saying.
right is all, let that be a
Right.
cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Don't stalk girls; you will end up
But
collecting hands. The end.
what's
Yeah.
interesting is those characters use mental health in the entertainment trope of like, yo, these people got this and they might blow you up. I'm also thinking about
Hmm.
like what are some ways that you've seen mental health in the ways David also talked about where it's like we got this character who's dealing with something like PTSD or it could be bipolar and they're
Yeah.
still, not seen as a threat, but it's like somebody who's going through that and they human too. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all
So
know
I
any
think
examples of that?
this is, yeah, yeah. So this brings me back to Zelos from Tales of Symphonia. And I think this is why I loved his character so much is because Kogra, I don't like your face. I'm gonna get to
No,
why.
no, no.
So Zelos' whole thing in Tales of Symphonia is that he deals with being he's, the chosen child. And it seems like he has a lot of power, but it's only because people know that they can get something out of him. On top of that, his mother died on top of him and told him that she wished he had never been born. His sister is locked up in a tower and hates him because she feels like she's locked up as a consequence of him being the chosen, like she was supposed to be and missed out on that. And so now she's been like deemed as someone who's not important. And so he's dealing with a lot of this mental trauma throughout the entire game. And you only tend to learn that about him if you do his side story because all of the side stories in Symphonia are optional and you can only do a certain percentage of them because you get like your ultimate ending with whoever you're hired with. And if you're highest with Zelos, you go into all of this trauma that he does. You get to do his part
Mm.
side story with his sister, where they kind of make amends a little bit. And he goes to visit her, and he's like, "I've always like cared about you, but I couldn't really do anything because of the position I was in." And you kind of just learn a lot about this kind of internal struggles he's been dealing with. And he
Hmm.
comes out a slightly better person. But I always loved his character because he was always a good guy. There's a chance that he becomes the villain depending on what you do in the story. But canonically, he's always supposed to be a troubled good guy. And I think all of the
Hmm.
Hmm.
Symphonia people have their issues. You have Genus and Rain who are dealing with racism, with being half elves. You have a lot
Hmm.
of really great topics. And Symphonia is a great Tales of game, but
It's
you
a
have a
great
lot of
game.
good. It's a great game. Yeah, you got a lot of good topics
It
that come out of
is.
it. But Zelos resonated with me because he was dealing with so much and still trying to put on this brave, like, I'm just a flirtatious friend. And then when you break him down, he's like, nah, I'm like
Hmm.
hurting. And
Like the
this is how I avoid
overthink.
coping with it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yep.
that's what I know. Persona games are extremely popular, but I think part of
Mhm.
the reason that these games become popular, I mean, they have all the style and all the swag and all the jazz music, whatever going on in the background, but also a lot of the
That
social links.
music
Some folks can
though.
consider them cheesy, but some folks can really enjoy the social links because of the way they can see characters progress. I'm
Yep.
Yeah.
thinking specifically, like you could look at it in any game. Persona 5, definitely. Persona 4, definitely. I want to get into Persona 3 specifically though, because the major theme of that game was grief and the idea of mortality. And so the messages of life and death come up all the time in that game. And when you start doing the
Hmm.
social links of all of the characters, you start figuring out this is who I am and this is how I project myself. But at the same time, these are the things that I'm struggling with. These are my insecurities. I'm depressed and I might harm this person because I need the closure for this situation that happens. And a
Yeah.
game like Persona 3 does a really good job at showing all of the stages of grief that people can go through because sometimes you have a social link and they at a 10 and then next time they might be down here or even throughout the game story even if it's not a social link there's folks who might be at a 10 and then something happens and they down here and then they have to find their resolve and come back up here. I'm thinking a lot about the post game that I still haven't beat yet, but the answer where you play as Igus and the whole concept around that is everybody has returned to the same location for a symbolic reason. They've been grieving over a spoiler, and for whatever reason, they cannot return to their homes because none of them have accepted that loss and processed that grief. That's the
Hmm.
symbolism, at least. And I think that's a really cool arc because you even go into like everybody's past and you learn more about every main character and what they want to overcome. And sometimes they fall back, they have some regression in their character arcs, but I think that's realistic. When people are struggling, they might regress a little bit. They in that fight or
Yeah,
flight mode, and it really does a good job at painting that full picture. So yeah,
Yeah,
I love it.
I
Word.
agree.
Yeah.
And I
Persona 3
think
is
like
definitely, when it comes to story, top notch. That's all. I'm sorry. Persona, all the Persona games are great, but Persona 3, I feel like really
yeah,
top notch in
They
their
don't miss when
storytelling.
it
Yeah.
comes
Atlas
to
is the key
character
studio for
development.
that, right? Atlas.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Atlas.
they
Yeah.
just do a good job at making compelling stories using relatable circumstance in a fantastic like element, which is really unique. And I was just thinking about like characters from Persona, like what's that toaster girl? What's her name?
I guess.
I
Toaster.
guess.
I guess.
Igus,
Igus.
right?
Toaster
Igus.
girl.
And then I
Toaster
was thinking
girl.
about like other
Oh,
characters like her, like
I
for
will
instance,
burn
Mitsuki
my
from Boruto. Oh yeah, burn the bread, yo.
friend.
But like Mitsuki from Boruto or like the pink
Uh-huh.
haired boy from Soul Eater, I can't remember his name right now. But characters like that where they're questioning their humanity and
Mm-hmm.
whether or
hmm
not they're like real, like questioning their reality, if they have a will, if they have emotions, things like that is people who like suffer from mental illness or have, traumatic experiences might not feel the same as everybody else and they feel
Mhm.
othered. So they can also go through that similar like thought process, so I always think like when you have those characters, they get to relate in a different way than just like, oh, this person lost a loved one or they went through something, traumatic, or they had even a normal interaction, but because they didn't have the same understanding, it caused something traumatic to happen to them, or they took it and it still caused trauma. So
hmm
Mhm.
they get to use like these extreme circumstances of like having like a clone or a replica or reincarnation, and this person gets to build who they are from the ground up. And whereas when something happens to you, you can fall to pieces and you have to pick yourself back up and piece yourself together. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really cool how, because we have the spectrum of video games and anime, they can use a real big grandiose idea to still get the same effects without having to do like necessarily make it triggering in reality.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. I
No,
get what you're saying. Yeah. Oh, go
I
ahead.
was I'm sorry. I was gonna point out Todoroki and Endeavor for mental
Oh,
health.
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yes.
I still hate Endeavor, but yes.
But yeah, Todoroki goes through having to feel like he's ashamed or has to push away from a part of him because he's so upset with his dad that
Mm.
he doesn't want a connection with, or at least he doesn't want to seem like, he's doing it for his dad. But to be
Right.
able to get to a point where he can stand in it and be like, no, I'm going to love all of me and show all of me with no connection to anything to have to do with you. I think that's something that a lot of people can kind of go through and building who they are based on what they believe is their connection to other people. And at some point, being able to say, no, this is who I am, and I'm going to stand 10 toes on who I am.
hmm
So, yeah, that was really
Yeah.
sweet for me. I was boohooing.
That made me think
That's
of
a
Shadow
good
the
one.
Hedgehog. Every time you finish his stories, he'll go, "This is who I am." Um,
Todoroki
Yeah,
is
he'll
just
never know
Shadow
who
the
he is every
Hedgehog.
series.
no, for real.
Shadow is a different Shadow is a different Shadow every series. So
I
Yep.
wanted to shout
That
out
is true.
Jodio Joestar, aka the swaggiest JoJo to be alive right now. Um, if folks have been keeping up with the JoJo Land mangas, this is not a major spoiler. This was like one panel, but apparently he had to talk to the counselors, and he's been diagnosed in canon with antisocial personality disorder. His counselor said he might also have signs of psychopathy, but he's like, I don't know about that. But the fact that they're writing this character to canonically have antisocial personality disorder, and I'm interested in seeing how Araki goes to convey that with all the other things that Jodio does throughout the story.
Hmm.
That's
yeah.
interesting, but he's a hero. He's not a villain.
Yeah, no, he's a
Right.
hero.
No. Yeah,
That's
he's the
Yeah.
good.
main
I
Joe
like
star
I
for
like
this.
when we get to
Yeah.
see people with mental health do
Mm-hmm.
good things. with
Mm-hmm.
Me
mental
too. I
illness be a good
especially
thing.
like when they make them the titular character because, like, a lot of times you see the side character kind of going through, or like side characters who have different disorders or issues and stuff like that. But it's
Mm-hmm.
cool to see that, like, this is your JoJo. Like, this is the person
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be following, and they've been diagnosed with
Yeah.
something.
And they
Yeah.
picked a good one
Mm-hmm.
too because
Oh, even
I'm not done
Jolene.
with Jolene. So
Oh,
Yeah, don't
we
spoil
gonna
nothing for
chill with
Right.
Jolene.
Jolene.
Yeah.
I'm only
Yeah.
like the second.
just mental health Jolene.
Oh,
That's
I could
how we're
tell
gonna leave it.
she needs some mental health.
Ooh.
But you already saw the beginning with her boyfriend, right? Or you ain't started it?
I thought you're still. Are you still in Golden Wind
Mm-mm.
with Giorno?
I'm in.
Wants to be a
I
GameStop.
know she's in
Okay, so you are in
a Green
Jolene.
Dolphin facility that they call the aquarium, but I
So you
don't
Yeah.
started
know what
doing?
she did to her boyfriend. So I'll probably have to go back. I don't know what landed her there.
Oh yeah, you missed
Okay.
you missed a
Oh,
key
Ooh,
which
part
is
of the
in,
That's
story.
which is
so can I
which
spoil
is
it
Yeah,
in
so
you
like the
that
jumped
first
kind of
I
big.
might
episode.
have thought that she don't
You
know
could go
this?
ahead and some.
It
Oh,
No,
definitely
no,
no,
is.
no.
I'm like,
I'm
I
like
missed
I'm
it at the
no. I'm on
beginning.
like
Yeah.
episode 3. I don't. I guess I've missed that part.
yeah, you going needs to go back.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that something that other women might
Well,
be able
you
to
could talk
relate
to it,
to
speak to
is,
it, because I'm gonna go back.
doing your all for a guy and then being left on the other side of it feeling like, you lost out.
Is
So
that was her guy the
that's
one
something
that was
else that
sitting
I
outside the
can.
courtroom after she got sentenced, and he was like, "Whoa, you really helped me," when the attorney didn't really do his best to help her. I'll go back and watch, but I think
I
that
can't
was.
Was he
remember.
I think
blonde
he
hair?
had
Oh,
blonde
yeah.
Yeah,
hair
just
or
go
pink
back.
hair.
Yeah,
One
without
of them
spoiling it
fellas.
for people.
If he's
Yeah, she
blonde,
has
then
like
yeah.
blonde. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man.
Okay. Well, at the risk of not spoiling Jolene, because I know she's the newest
Yes.
JoJo, we won't spoil it too much. So I'll
You
let you
gonna
go
love
back
this
and
season.
Poor
watch.
thing.
Right.
You
Yeah.
gonna love
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
Poor
because
season.
you go
her.
So,
catch up and
Rewatch
pay
the whole
attention
entire
next time.
series.
For her.
Loa,
Yes, but
Loa,
rewatch that first
you gonna
episode.
love that
I'm gonna love
season.
that season. I know. As soon as
You
we're
gonna love
done
that
Yes.
recording,
season.
I'm gonna
Yes.
go back.
Man, I've been calling her
You'll
KB.
finish
Her
it.
name's Loa. Oh my god.
Same. I didn't
Um,
I don't know what
forget.
all
y'all
right.
been calling me.
Loa.
Lola.
So before we
Lola, drop
transition to
that
our next
down.
topic,
Lola,
I
drop that down.
know I know it may not actually fall into the anime category, but we already brought it up, and I really want to talk about mental health in Avatar. I know
Yeah.
some folks try to give Korra a lot of stress because they're like, "Oh, she got her butt whipped by every villain." But I really like that version of the show took a very mature turn on the series and had a lot of
Hmm.
underlying themes. So for those who have not seen Legend of Korra, I am going to spoil Legend of Korra. In her fourth season, she's dealing with a lot of things. A lot of things in
Hmm.
her life, things that she's experienced in the past. Her body's poisoned. She has been bending. She not. She's supposed to be the avatar. She's supposed to be the GOAT. Everywhere she step, she's supposed to have that flavor at that game. She going to random tournaments getting her butt whipped, so she's obviously out of her game. But it's also her like going through a major slump, and she has to run
Hmm.
into Toph, and Toph helps her one get the poison out of her body, but Toph also helps Korra navigate the situation that she's going through and help
Hmm.
Korra feel, re-energized to go out there and do her avatar duties. Because for the longest, she was like hiding from everything, isolating herself because she felt like an utter failure and she couldn't get back into her game. So I thought that fourth season of The Legend of Korra specifically is big on mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
it really
big.
was. Like every character kind of had to go through something, and some of them had more like lighthearted things happening to them, but I thought it was cool that they focused on, the avatar on having to really make
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
decisions that weren't just beneficial for every single person in the avatar world. Like
Mm-hmm.
she had to
Yeah.
really deal with herself and grow as a person to even get
Right.
any place that she was. And it
Yep.
wasn't just like an odyssey. It wasn't just like, oh, look at these characters. Because I mean, the Avatar, the first season, the first series had a lot of growth, but it was very much still like an odyssey type like
Hmm.
journey, um like to the west type of deal, whereas
Mm-hmm.
this one was more reflective, and it wasn't necessarily about having to just beat the enemy. It was like, do I need to even beat this enemy, or do I like ha- me beating them is more about my perception of myself, and the reason why I
Yeah.
can't overcome this enemy is because I'm not comfortable with what I'm being asked by having to
Mm.
deal with them. You know.
Hmm. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. No, I
Yeah.
loved Cora. I know a lot of people, like you said, gave Cora flack because she was getting like, oh, she getting her butt handed to her, and she wasn't the hero in the same sense that Aang was. Not that he didn't go through his trials and tribulations, but like you said, it was all for this like greater. It felt, like watching a shonen anime, right? Like you have conflict, and then there's another battle, and then you're ultimately getting to you're saving the world. And with Cora,
Mm-hmm.
it felt more personal. You were watching someone who was struggling with their identity, their sexuality, who they were, and just like
Mm-hmm.
watching this
Right.
like young woman who was only what she was like 16, 17, right? Like, and it really felt like
Yeah.
we're watching a teenager who's been thrust
Mm-hmm.
the weight of the world, figure out how am
Mm-hmm.
I supposed to handle the weight of the world but I don't even know who I am yet. Like it, and it really
Yeah.
felt like that. Yeah.
And I really like that contrast. I feel like a lot of folks kind of get into the who's the better avatar thing when I realized that, and a lot of other folks realize this too, obviously, but Aang and Korra were made to be thematic opposites. Aang
Right.
was a young child who was confident in his identity but got thrust into avatarhood, and he wasn't ready for that. Korra, on the other hand, was like she was raised as the Avatar, but never really learned who she was as a person. So Aang had to figure out how to be the Avatar. Korra had to figure out how to be Korra. And I think that's
Hmm.
where a lot of the disconnect is. But I think that's also what makes the beauties of both of those shows. Like whatever you're looking for, you can either watch the kid go on this misadventure with some depressive tendencies, or watch this adult go on some of her misadventures, but really a very depressing journey with some misadventures mixed into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think ultimately her actions honestly changed more for the people of the Avatar world than
Hmm.
Aang's did,
Yeah.
because that was more of a return to form. Like they wanted peace to be upon the land again. And while, of course, it did jumpstart the Industrial Revolution, like Korra changed how people interact with everybody and
Hmm.
benders, forever.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I think Cora had more of a long term change on the way they would continue, life after she was gone. Like Aang helped, of course, restore everything, but I think Cora had more of an active change in like how things were currently going to progress going forward.
Right.
A cultural shift.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, she was a
Okay.
cultural shift for sure. Yeah. But no, I definitely I feel like we went on the tangent from how mental health affects us to how it I mean not exactly, but how we interact with like gaming and anime and how it as opposed to how anime and gaming kind of interacts with us, I guess, like the other way around where what we receive from anime and video games. But I feel like they're all valid and seeing these things portrayed allows us to say, oh, okay, it's okay to, say that I'm not doing all right. And I just had a conversation
Hmm.
with a friend and she was saying, like, how do I tell my friends that the reason I've been MIA is just because I've been dealing with some stuff. And I'm like, you should be able to say
Just
exactly
that.
that. Like, hey,
Hmm.
I've been dealing with some personal stuff. Like, you should not have to come up with some exorbitant excuse as to why you're dealing with things. And so I think as we continue to see stuff in our mediums that we all appreciate, where people are just dealing with stuff, that people will become more comfortable being open and honest about where they are mentally, how they're feeling, how their space is, and what they need to feel better.
Period.
Yeah.
Shay.
I share. I
Yeah.
share.
It's always good in those moments in anime where there's somebody freaking out and they're like, I don't want to tell them that I'm like this. And then the friend group's normally just like,
Yeah.
what? It doesn't matter.
Like you should. Why didn't you tell us this a
Yeah.
long time ago? Yeah. And I feel like
That's
that's
where that
usually reflective
overthinking
of
comes in
real life.
sometimes.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Yeah, you overthink. But I feel like that's reflective of real life too, where you're over there overthinking. And then when you tell your friends, they're like, cool, let us know what you need. Yeah.
Right. Believe it, believe it and
Yeah.
just
No, don't
Believe it.
believe it.
use your
Don't believe it.
protagonist energy.
Believe it.
Use your protagonist energy
No.
to
Don't
overcome
leave
any
don't use
obstacles.
your Naruto protagonist energy though. Don't do that. Use some other protagonist energy.
In the topic of video games and animes, I thought it would be fun for us to just take a second and think about any fictional universe, you know what I'm saying? An anime universe, a video game universe. Who are some characters from that universe that you could see having an everyday job?
Hmm.
And what would the job be? Hmm.
I still say Goku should. Oh, are we talking about? what are they most likely to, or like funny?
Now,
Hey,
I've got
whatever.
some jobs that they might
Yeah,
not
like
want to
Goku
work
as a
at.
family
Okay.
therapist.
Yep,
Okay.
I see in the chat Goku as a family therapist.
Hey, it's me, Goku. I heard you're
I
having this about your family.
feel like he would
And
oversimplify
then just try
everything.
to make you fight.
Yeah. Why don't you just
Just make
fight?
it sound like it was easy to fix it, and
Hmm.
otherwise he'd fight you.
Yeah.
He would definitely be an alpha male manosphere red pill like dude, and he'd be like, "You should just
Dang.
train.
You
You
should
should
just
No,
just
I
try.
feel like
train. You should just work out, and that will
dang.
that'll ease your trauma."
I feel like Goku
The
would be
trauma
more
scene.
clueless and hungry. Whoa, your wife threatened to divorce you? I don't know what a divorce is, but I know Chi Chi told me about that once. But if you give her some food, I think everything will work out. And
And it
somehow
probably
it works
will.
out.
And it
It
somehow
probably
works
will.
out.
It
Yeah.
might work out. Yeah. I feel like he would be the unintentional red pill. Like he would be like, well, Chi Chi likes me because I'm strong. So maybe if you work out at the hyperbolic time chamber, like, like he would be an
Hey, you hear Krillin?
unintentional.
Wow, Goku, thank you for the advice.
Of course, it's Krillin. Poor
Oh,
Krillin, man.
Krillin.
Yeah.
I know, poor girl.
Nah, that would be funny.
Piccolo would be he'd be a camp leader, like a troop leader.
He'd be
Absolutely.
good at that.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
Absolutely. You see the
He'd
way
be
he
a great
raising that,
camp
that
counselor.
young man's child?
Yeah, he's
Yep,
Yeah, he will.
exactly.
yeah, he
He'd be
raised
that.
Gohan, and now he's raising Gohan's kids. So yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be that one that everybody comes back to see over the summer.
Right.
right.
Vegeta would be the
Like Piccolo
God,
had
you better
another job
lie.
before and he got fired due to anger issues. And then he was like, I'm going to work with kids in nature because that's what I can do that
Mm-hmm.
and meditate. And he gets a bunch of rambunctious kids every year that he yells at. But
Mm-hmm.
or he
they
was
have a
court
good
ordered,
bond.
They'd be like,
like
Mr.
Yeah.
Piccolo, look what I found. And he'd be like, that's venomous, put that down. Okay.
or he was court ordered there.
Mhm.
Like he got fired due to
That
anger
too.
issues, and they said, "Hey, you need to go here and work with these kids. This is your community service."
No.
And now he's stuck
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to volunteer
Yeah.
so many hours with these children.
Mhm.
It would
And
be
they
the
grew
opposite. I
Yeah.
mean, they might. Gohan loves Piccolo after all, but I'm like, I imagine Piccolo being like, he's got these kids under waterfalls, like cold waterfalls, so he'll make them stronger.
Yeah.
They're like 7 years old. He's got one kid abandoned on a mountain somewhere. Like,
That's literally
But
what I was imagining. I was like, nah, those kids gonna be ran the same way that he taught Gohan when Gohan was a kid.
but it depends on
right?
which Piccolo you thinking about. Cause Saiyan Saga Piccolo will have them kids hanging off a waterfall. King Piccolo probably gonna have them kids in some stew.
Ooh.
But like if you thinking of
I've
like
seen
Dragon Ball Super Piccolo, you did y'all see how gentle he was training Pan? He was sitting there, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just raise my leg and watch you jump over it. Okay, you're good. Have a
Yep.
good day at school,
Yeah.
Pan.
He's a
That
Oh,
is
girl
true.
dad. That's all that is.
Yeah.
He's just
yeah,
a
that,
girl
that,
dad.
that might be it. He's a girl dad. So,
Yeah, all the girls are
He's
gonna be like,
teaching
Piccolo's my
them.
favorite teacher, and all the guys are gonna be like, please get me out this class. He got us on a mountain.
Please, I don't want to train with him.
Yeah, he's
Right.
teaching them like emergency rescue operations. Like, this is how you
Right.
save somebody from an avalanche. And they're like, we're just Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let me
Just
stand
wanted to
there.
Why would I
came.
be an
I'm
avalanche?
nine.
Right.
We just
Yeah.
wanted
It's
to
like-
learn how to start a fire. He's like,
I
no,
just wanna
this is
tie
how
my
you save somebody with a helicopter.
Right.
Airdrop them out.
Why don't you know how to
Like,
drive?
Mr. Piccolo, when will I ever use this?
Stop
Like
Every day of my
picturing
life.
training
kids
on a
in
mountain.
helicopters. Jump, 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 jump.
If
Know how to
Krillin
pull out a
wasn't a cop,
parachute.
if Krillin wasn't a cop, I would want him to be a FedEx driver.
Oh,
FedEx
can you
driver.
see him
I said
walking up with your package? Like all you see are legs.
Yeah, I don't know.
God.
Mm,
You gotta come up.
that's jacked up.
There's a
That'd
picture
be
of Krillin. He kind of posted like this with the I gotta do it to him pose. I'd expect him
Yeah.
to be at your door just like that. Hey, your PlayStation's right there. I just wanted to let you know.
FedEx driver that waits for you to answer. You don't leave it at the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah.
He's like,
Or like
kids.
someone's looking through the
Delivery.
ring. Someone's looking through the ring bell. Like, why won't he leave?
Mhm.
Why is he still there? Go
Hello?
away.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make
Go
sure
away.
you got it.
Yeah.
He's all talking back.
Door
They're like, you can leave the
pack.
package. It's like, no, I just want to make sure you get it. Oh,
Yeah. Sir, you can drive off. Well, you didn't get your package. I'll get it once you drive off. But what if somebody attacks you? Sir.
What if it
Got a
gets
lot of porch
stolen?
pirates. Got a lot of porch pirates in this area, sir. I just want to make sure you get your
Chi Chi
package.
would be the lunch lady, the cafeteria lady.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
I
she's got
feel like
enough
I
sass to
see. I
pull it
feel like I
off.
see her more as a
You think Chi Chi would
principal.
be a
Pull it
principal?
off.
She'll definitely be a principal
I-
too.
Yeah.
I just feel
Yeah.
like lunch ladies are mean
She'd be
sometimes.
good
They
as a
just be yelling, "Take your
principal.
food and go."
Whip them kids in shape.
I don't
I
think
feel like
Chi Chi's
even
ever mean for no reason though. I think
No,
she's
she just
justified
Yeah,
every
she'll.
time that she's angry.
yeah, every time she's been
Right.
angry, it's
Hey,
been for a reason. Unless
her
you're a
husband
red
do
pill.
begin on her nerves.
And all he could doesn't Goku only like farm cabbages or something stupid or lettuce or something?
Yeah.
I'd be mad too. Goku
He
has to be the most useless if he is not fighting.
he'll pick up about 5 cabbages and then vanish for 3 years to go fight with Vegeta.
Mhm.
Hey,
Yeah.
at least he's trying.
I got my work done for today, Chi Chi. Can I go train now?
Right? Can I go play?
There's
Yeah,
work
can I go
tomorrow,
fight
bro.
I'll be back in 4 years. Goes and dies. Like
Yep.
What about the
Goku has
cabbages?
died. The guy from Fortnite has died.
right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Uh,
I have
Goten
one in my head.
like
unironically would be a very popular video game streamer. And I
yeah, I
only
think
say that
Goten
because
and
watching the recent mangas, I've been seeing Goten and he'll fly back on the Nimbus with his headphones on and like a Nintendo Switch like console in his hands.
yeah.
he's
I can see
he's that 12-year-old YouTuber you see and you get mad.
yeah, like, he's got like 1 million subscribers and he's probably making buku dollars for Twitch. And you're like, why is that kid making so much money than me? I
Exactly.
feel like that could be Goten and Trunks. I think they'd both be good Twitch streamers. They
They'd
probably
be
like
them hype
they probably
beast
do a lot of
kids.
collabs. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
they
They'd be
would
a
Yeah.
hype
resell
beast
sneakers.
collab.
They would resell sneakers and drop ship.
They would
Yeah.
definitely sell sneakers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what job Vegeta could have because he has such a short temper. I'm like, he could. I feel like he couldn't have a job. Where he
Correctional
had to,
officer.
like, ooh, okay.
I don't think I want to live in that city, that town.
Hey,
He's a correctional officer.
unironically,
Vegeta as a correctional officer or Gotham City? I don't Because Gotham City Batman will walk up and punch you in the face any minute. I don't know which
Right.
one's better.
You just gotta do no, but in prison, like maybe warden then. But
they
I
might-
see him more like a correctional officer.
oh
Yeah,
Like a dirty cop.
either that or like a military sergeant.
no, like in the
No.
No, I don't
jail.
think it would be a dirty
release
cop, or
date.
at least because I feel like dirty cops. It implies that they're doing something like under the
Vegeta's
table,
just-
and I don't think
just
Vegeta's
right in
doing
your
anything
face.
under. Yeah, he just
Hmm.
right. Yeah,
He should definitely be the guys, one of the ones that
I
work
can
on
see,
death
yeah, I
row.
can see,
One of those wardens.
He could handle
he could
Yeah,
do
I
what?
could just hear him just like, get on the ground.
yeah.
You're going to the
Yeah.
hole.
Those guys. Yeah.
I
And then
would
laughing
unironically see Vegeta as a life coach.
You know, I almost was thinking of that,
Aw.
Every
Nah.
stage,
but not a
hear
good
me
life
out.
coach.
Every stage,
No,
of
no,
Vegeta,
I'm with this. Okay.
every
Yes.
stage of
Correct,
Vegeta
bro.
is a life coach. Like, let's say we got early, it's over 9,000 Saiya Saga Vegeta. It seems that you're making some good changes in your life. But unfortunately, it's not enough to keep me impressed. So unless you want to go to the next dimension, you'll need to fix your schedule. You got that Vegeta. And then we got like Android Saga Vegeta, who's like, huh, that's cool, but you're not as cool as me yet. And I know you want to be cool like me. Therefore, you need to step back out there and put in even more work. And then you got
No,
like,
he's not gonna be a fitness guru. No. Duties like Broly Gaines. He got duties.
But
Yeah,
then you get Buu Saga and Dragon Ball Super Vegeta that's like, yo, high five, good job. If you get this one done, I'll buy you some ice cream. Wow, you're making it in strides. Don't give up, because as a Saiyan, we never quit, and you shouldn't either.
He's slowly I don't know which one. I think I like that. I feel like if he was like Majin Vegeta, that might be the
No.
type of inspiration I need. It's the like I'm better, and if you don't get better, you will die. Like that's what I need.
That
Like I
sounds
don't
like
need
Mars.
I need high five,
That is
Mars.
good
ice
motivation.
cream.
Mars.
Mars is like, I will
Sounds
not
like
It's
Mars.
die.
motivation or if it's stressful
Right.
motivation. It's
Let's
it's
go.
a, it's a motivation, I guess, if you like to be motivated by threats.
Mm.
You know,
That
everyone
works
is
for her.
motivated. I don't get
But
motivated by people being nice to me.
but on the flip
That
side,
sounds very
Something is
relatable.
very wrong.
DBS Vegeta DBS Vegeta will still grab you by your collar and make those threats. He might not follow through with it.
Mm.
That's the
Right.
only
He's just
difference.
that's the thing though. He's soft on the inside. Like I know DB Super now, Vegeta. So I'm like, oh, he ain't gonna do it. Majin Vegeta, I'm like, nah, that dude might actually kill me. Let me
Yeah,
get my
he
life
gonna kill
together.
you.
Right.
You can tell by that
He
M on
might
his
do it.
head. I don't know if
Right.
that's his hairline or a forehead tattoo.
Oh,
That's a M in cursive. Nah, that man gonna kill me. Let me go ahead and figure my life.
mhm.
Yo, okay, so I've been thinking about one, and I don't know why. I don't have any justification. It's just there. But I don't know why I see Naruto as a fast food like worker or manager.
I can see
Absolutely.
that.
I
He
can
just gave me
absolutely see
that
that. Yeah.
energy of like I
He's
want to
That's
help
very
fair.
everybody. I want to work
yeah.
here and get everybody fed and make sure
So like
Absolutely.
a
everybody's been
Chick-fil-A
assisted.
employee?
He
Yeah,
yes.
my
Yeah.
Yes.
My
pleasure.
pleasure.
My
It's
pleasure.
not gonna say my pleasure. He says,
Yes.
believe it. Thank you. Believe
Believe,
Believe
believe.
it.
Wow, these fries are really
So
good.
I got the
Believe
four
it.
nugget meal with a
Yeah.
large Sprite. Is there anything else I can get for you? No, that's
Yeah.
good. All
He's
right,
definitely
believe it.
like the
Okay, the
manager
second
or the
one though.
supervisor that gets on everybody else's nerves. Like he's definitely a manager or
Y'all got my order
supervisor.
right?
Yeah, I know. Believe what? Right? No, he's definitely.
I could also
These
see
employees are treating you right.
I
Like
could
that's
Right.
yeah. That's not.
unfortunately also see him as a bartender.
Mm.
And let
I
me
would
tell you
hate that
why.
bar.
Naruto?
Yes,
He
you
will
don't have to
talk a
tell me
hole
why.
in your
I'll never go
head.
to that bar.
Can we get 5 shots? And then now you get a whole life story. You're not giving a life story. Your bartender's giving you a life story. And you
The worst
leave
part.
reconsidering your life.
No, no, that is the worst
You
part.
agree?
My
Yeah, let me
my
get
Yes,
5 more.
yes.
Come on.
Bring it.
all right. So you need a shot
I see
too. By
Kakashi
the end
as
of
the
that,
bartender.
You can
I
see
yeah, I
know.
can
Kakashi.
see
I think
I
as
Kakashi
the
will be the
bartender.
more
yeah.
successful bartender. I just think
Yes,
Naruto
Like
will be that
yeah.
talkative, annoying bartender.
yeah.
Yeah,
Naruto's
Kakashi
the
would own
bartender
the
that I never
bar.
go to that bar again. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I can see
Yeah.
Kakashi's like
Naruto
Kakashi would be
works
the
Thursday nights.
yeah, yes,
Oh.
yeah. Naruto works maybe Tuesdays. He works the dead nights, maybe
Tuesdays.
during like from that 5 to 6
Oh.
p.m. where nobody's really going to the bar. Like that's when Naruto works. Kakashi I could see being because he's like just silent enough where like when I go to a bar, if I decide I want to talk to the bartender, I want them to give me just barely enough conversation until my next drink arrives. I don't need to know your life
Mhm.
story. You don't need to know my life story. Give me my drink. And so if Naruto is over there
Yep.
telling me his whole life, I'm like, yeah, that's great. Yelp review. Never go to this bar.
He's like,
The
I really
blonde
wish
dude
that
with
I
the
could make it
whiskers
to
will
my
not
son's
stop
birthday.
talking.
Right, that
So then
dude.
Naruto also shouldn't be an Uber driver then.
Oh no.
No, oh my
Mm.
God.
No.
No.
No, no, no,
No.
no, no.
I
I
think
don't
No.
trust that
Sasuke
man
would
to
be a
drive.
great Uber driver. He's quiet. He well,
And
he can insult you a little bit, but I feel like he's
I don't
mostly
think
quiet.
Sasuke's got the communication skills. I don't
I
know.
don't want to
He's
know.
gonna
That's
think that
perfect.
somebody's in
He would have
danger.
a low
He's gonna get a
rating.
text that he needs to
He would
stop
have a
somewhere and
low
just turn
rating.
the vehicle. You in the back seat, like, wait, this isn't the
Where
way
we
to my
going?
house,
Where
and
we
he's just
going?
going.
Well, you know, and
Just
that's
All of a
just
always
part
sudden,
of
you
not
think
the
you're
thinking
getting
about you.
kidnapped.
adventure. That's all.
Right. He's gonna have like a old, like obscure Toyota model. Like it's not. It's just. It's like the Toyota Neon or something. It's like, dude, what? Like, how? First of all, how do you have this car?
When
And
was this
why is
made?
it like
Yeah.
just? Yeah. How is it just okay enough to drive? Like, it's clean in here, but it's
Mhm.
suspiciously clean. I don't. I don't.
And then he's
You aren't
going to
saying
cuss you
anything.
out if you say something about his car. So,
He's not
then you
using
sit quiet.
GPS either.
Yeah.
And
Young
somehow you
Gara
still
will
end
work
up.
at
Is that
Hot
not turn on
Topic.
here?
Young
Young
girl.
Gara will work at Hot Topic.
Now
Boruto
that's
Gara
That's an
will be a
ironic
math
thing.
teacher.
I feel like that's Gaara's brother. Well, maybe that whole family, Tamari Gara and I forget his brother's name, the one who controls the
Konkuro.
puppets. Yeah, Konkuro. They all work at Hot Topic. That whole
Absolutely.
family.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yo.
Yep, definitely.
Sakura.
I'm
I
gonna
don't know
give
what
Gara
Sakura.
Spencer's at least. You know,
Spencer's.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, okay.
yeah, put him at
A
Spencer's.
step
You
up
know,
from Hot Topic.
I
I
would
think
put Eno
Spencer's
at
is a step
Spencer's.
up from Hot Topic.
I
Really?
feel
I
like
would put Eno at no, I feel like Eno's at Forever 21. She's Forever
yeah.
21 girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like she doesn't have the emo
Yo,
energy for a Spencer's or a Hot Topic, but she is the like she's the
Yo,
hot girl for a
That
little
is
bit.
true.
I
You
can
do
see her
need to
being
like
cute hot girl. Yeah.
Hinata works at that candle store. What's it called?
Bath and Body.
Bath and Body Works.
Look, baby.
Bed Bath and
Bed
Beyond.
Bath and
I was
Beyond.
gonna
Yeah,
put her
yeah,
at
she
Free
works at
People,
candle.
but okay.
Free people? Oh no.
She's just that quiet girl
Actually,
that
no,
sits
I take
behind the
that back.
counter.
Hinata works at a craft store that is like not well staffed. Like there's not that many people, and it's like
Yeah.
7 p.m. on a weeknight, and there's like a line of 15 moms trying to get their kids' projects finished at
Dang.
night. And I could just see
She
her
would get
exasperated, like
fired.
I don't know where the yarn is, and like we're out of
Right.
colored pencils from Crayola.
No, she would just be going home. They're like, Hinata, where are you? Your shift hasn't ended yet. And she's like outside hyperventilating somewhere.
I can see that. I can see that.
She's trying to
Yeah.
put like the
She's
tinsel
rocking.
back together. Like she's just like, there's just all this tinsel, and I don't know anything about
I don't know why
crafts.
it's on the floor.
There's so many pencils. There's so many colored pencils.
Let's see who else. Who
I
else?
feel like
Oh, God.
not our Naruto's, but our JoJo's. I could see Jotaro as okay. So this is this is going back to my Uber driver, but again, Jotaro I feel like would be a great Uber driver because he's quiet, he's exact, he's intelligent. I feel like he's someone who could not use the GPS, but it's because he knows the city well enough to just like get to
Mhm.
where he's going. And he's someone that like if you tried to start a conversation, he'd be like, yada yada yada, and then he'd like keep driving and we'd be good.
Is that the same
Like I
as
don't
good
have to worry
grief?
about a
I'd say
conversation for
That yada
him.
yada yada. Okay.
yeah.
Yada
is
yada yada. Ha
Yeah.
ha ha.
Yeah.
Is good. Is
Yeah.
good grief.
Yeah, yeah,
Yada, yada, ha, ha.
Okay.
yeah. I don't know about the
Yo,
yeah, haha, but
but
yeah,
I think Jotaro would be a good Uber driver, except he would not Uber on very live evenings and nights. Because them folks coming back from parties, they going to be loud and rambunctious. And you know Jotaro like turn around and scream at people and call them annoying. So he wouldn't work those days.
which is perfect for me because
Really?
usually when I
I
want,
Shut
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
just want
see
my
him
Uber
as having a
driver to come
car
home from work.
related. Oh, go ahead, Mari.
Oh, I was
Go
just
ahead,
saying, I
Mari.
just want him to when I'm coming home from work and I'm tired anyway, and I want the car to be silent. Like that's the
Mhm.
perfect Jotaro ride. Like you get Jotaro, you're like, we gonna be riding it completely. There's not gonna be no
Yep.
music. There's not gonna be no words. Just get me home. Yes.
Oh,
Mhm.
at least music. Oh
See, I see
my.
him as a car salesman. I feel
Really?
like I've since I like had to work at a couple different car dealerships. There was always like a buff guy who was kind of like quiet though, but he would just kind of tell the person what they were getting. Like it wouldn't be like, "Do you want this car? Let me show you this." He'd be like, "I'm going to show you this car, and this
This
is
is
what's
the
good
car
about
you were
it, and
buying.
it's exactly
Yeah.
what you want, and you're gonna get it." You know,
I
and
feel like I
today.
would see Giorno Giovanna or Joseph Joestar doing that.
Not Giorno.
But I feel
I
like
don't think I could
Joseph
see
is too.
Giorno as a car
Yeah,
salesman.
I feel like
I
me
see
either.
Joseph working in
Yeah.
Nordstrom
Really?
Yeah.
I
or
can kind of see
Neiman
that.
Mm.
I can
Marcus.
kind
I
of
was
see
trying to
that.
figure out which one of them
Yeah,
would
Yeah.
be
they're
at
trying to
Neiman's or
piece
Nordstrom.
on. He's
Yeah,
working in the
yeah,
he's working in the women's section
yeah.
and getting women to find dresses.
You have the
He's
Yeah.
suggesting, yeah,
Japanese that
just
just came
yes,
in.
yeah, he's
and
passing
he's
some
oh
numbers
my
around.
god, that looks amazing on you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like Joseph is
Oh,
too friendly to. I mean, like he could be a good salesperson in general, but yes, I do see him
Mhm.
Right.
selling clothes and like hyping
Okay,
people up. Oh
word.
my goodness, that dress! What? Like
What's the
I
little
would
that's
still
short
Joseph.
hold
one
firm on
with
to
the
Giorno
hair?
at the car dealership, though.
I see him
Koichi.
as a door dasher.
Koichi. Hey, you just ran off with your
Koichi was
food
like,
without paying. Echo, stop his car.
Stop that car.
He would have been good to have when somebody took my Taco Bell outside the front of my apartment. So
Mm.
you know, could have
Yep.
stopped him
Actually,
away from my Taco Bell.
I feel
now
like
they're making
there's
it
a
a tenfold. Good
stand
for
that
them.
punishes people for stealing stuff or for feeling guilty after stealing something.
Lock. You might be thinking about
There is, yeah, the one.
the
Yeah.
heart lock
Oh
lock
yeah,
lock or something
yeah,
like that.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and he's like, and
But
your
what if they
guilt
don't
makes
feel
you feel
guilty?
like this,
But
and yeah, who is that? Which guy was that?
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of tying to what T was saying earlier, though, I could kind of see Giorno as a car salesman. Like
Oh yeah.
it's hard to
Yeah.
explain, but I could definitely see him being like, "I am Giorno Giovanna, and I want to
Oh
sell this
yeah,
car."
He would no, he would
Become the
greet you.
best
He would
I
salesman.
can
greet
see
you.
Journal.
He would greet you in Italian to reel you in, and then sell you a car at the worst expense rate possible.
Oh,
But you'd be like,
oh,
"Oh, he was just so
Right.
friendly." Whole time you got scammed.
Mhm.
yeah. Wasn't he a
Yes, he
friend?
was a scammer.
He
He
was
was
a
a friendly
scammer.
scammer.
Um,
But he
Yo,
mhm.
was
I
a
see.
scammer.
I
Yeah.
see.
Those be the worst
He should
ones.
work in the middle of the mall.
I see Bucciarati.
Bucciarati.
I
Bucciarati.
see
Bucciarati, what's his
Bucciarati as a
job?
bank exec.
Yeah, I can see that.
I
A
can see
Absolutely,
banker.
that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
With that
I want
Bob.
to
I
talk
kind
to
of
the
want
manager when
Bucciarati. I
Bucciarati
kind of
comes
want
out
him to
with
be
Yeah.
a
his Bob.
baker.
A
I don't know
baker.
why,
A
but I want
baker.
to like walk.
Baker.
I don't know. Just in my head, I would love to see like I walk into a nice little pastry shop and Bucciarati's behind the table, and he's just like,
I
"Do you
would
want
love
these
to
nice
go to
French
that.
pastries?" We also dabble with like Japanese pastries, and like I don't know. In my head, Bucciarati. I think his like vibe is like if you want people to come to your bakery and take pictures and post it on Instagram, you got Bucciarati behind the
Oh no,
counter.
I'm gonna stick with the bank he's at.
Hmm.
He can be a
Now the
bank
one dude
exec
with the
too.
heart earrings.
I bet he fixes a mean cup of coffee. That's all I'm
Heart
Heart.
saying.
earrings. Oh,
He
That
probably
guy.
Polaroid.
does, which
He's a
is great
chef.
for a bakery.
He's
Gets
in the
the
Yeah.
back of the.
coffee
He's in
and
the back of the
Hold on,
restaurant. He
listen.
owns a restaurant. He's a chef.
You just saying that because he's French. He
yeah,
about to burn that whole
Right.
restaurant down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he'd be like
Yo,
he'd be
And
like
you'll
that
be
one
back there
what's
guy.
nicely.
the what was
You know that one cooking show? What's that man? That with the accent that's always yelling at people. Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yep.
Oh
He'd be a
yeah,
Gordon
Gordon.
Ramsay.
Gordon
Gordon
Ramsay.
Ramsay?
He's a
Gordon
Gordon
Ramsay.
Ramsay.
I can see that.
Just yelling at people.
I can see that.
You were foolish. Tell
Yo, I feel like
information.
Okoyasu would be a wildlife like one of those wildlife dudes. Kind of
Wow, look at
like
that.
going in the wilderness, getting stung by bees and stuff. Be like, this hurts.
Look at
Yeah.
that woolly
Got eaten
mammoth.
by
He's coming
alligator.
straight at me.
Wasp nest.
Like, what's that guy's name? Like Coyote Peterson, I think his name is, or something like that. He just like, I'm gonna get stung by this mosquito wasp hawk, and it's gonna be like, he's like, it hurts so bad. Give me the
And,
pin. He's like,
and
yeah.
then Josuke, unfortunately, will have to work alongside Okuyasu because he needs to keep healing Okuyasu every time he does something stupid.
He almost dies. Yeah.
That was suck.
Yep.
That
And
was
I'm
a
like, what you
cottonmouth.
do?
You got bit by 3 cottonmouths.
He was like, "Oh, really? That's why it hurt so bad." Dead. Kills over. Like,
Yeah.
What was the name of the girl from part 5? I can't remember her name right now.
Trish.
With that.
oh,
Trish.
Trish.
She works in a
Oh, I
boba
forgot
shop.
about Trish.
Yeah, she
Oh,
worked
no.
at a boba shop.
Trish.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
Boba
Hermes
there
will be a
making those.
tattoo
Trish works
artist.
at the I was going. She could work
Yeah.
at. She's a receptionist at the tattoo artist place. Like I don't like. Trish is
Yeah.
a
You want
one.
a tattoo.
She's like, you
She's
trying to
like,
get a
"Do you want a
tattoo
tattoo?"
today in the next hour? No. You're gonna wait.
Yeah.
You'll be
No,
waiting for 4 hours.
Trish would definitely
Right
be the
here.
person that like she's at the front desk and you're trying to have like all the short conversations, be friendly, come in, and everything. She's like, okay,
Yeah, she's at the front desk
okay, yeah, go to
anywhere.
your left.
Yeah.
And then when you
Anywhere.
come in, she's like, yo,
Yeah.
what's up? And you just turn around like, so you can't be friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah, she's
That's
definitely
hilarious.
She's
She's-
definitely a front desk employee.
wherever it may be. Yeah.
Yeah. The books are over there. You can look at the different
Yeah.
examples.
I know you can read. There's a sign right here that points to the books.
You ask a
Go
question,
over
she goes,
there. Hey,
Right.
Over
You
there.
can read.
Go over there.
You want it where? You want to put it on what part? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
That's-
Right.
I'll let them know.
Hey, do you?
We'll get back to you.
"We'll get back to you."
What about Diavolo? What type of
He's the
job
type
is
that-
Diavolo?
Diavolo. Oh my
Diavolo.
gosh.
I was trying to say, I was
Middle.
like,
There's
Yeah,
Diavolo
middle
and
management.
Davolo.
For a second, I was like, "What are y'all
No,
talking
because
about?"
one is
What God's name is
Divolo and one is Diavolo,
But-
isn't it?
Dopio and Diablo.
Diavolo.
Diavolo and
Diavolo.
Divolo.
oh yeah, Diavolo. Yeah.
Like Diablo.
And
Like
Diplo,
Diplo?
yeah, it is Diablo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's middle management at a
Wait, the nice
paper
one or the mean
company.
one? Which one are we talking about? Wait, we
Both.
got to separate the
The mean
personalities.
one.
One.
Yeah. Okay, yes,
Yeah,
the
we're talking
mean
about the
one.
evil
The
one, the
mean
mafia.
one, not the crazy one. Yeah, not the
Diavolo.
crazy talking his phone one.
The
Or
dude with the long
Diavolo.
Yes.
hair.
Talisman. Why are you saying his name like that?
Diablo.
Is it
Diavolo
But
sounds
it
better
but it
than
That's
sounds
how I did.
like
It's
I
how
Diabolo.
I
do like
said it. I'm
Oh,
Diavolo.
sorry.
Diavolo sounds
Okay,
non-existent.
no. Okay,
It's
Diavolo
pronounced
will
Diablo.
obviously
Yeah.
work either for human resources or customer support. And the reason I say that is because he
I
can
love that.
hide
Yes.
behind a masquerade or an alias for either one of those.
alias. Alias?
Think about like every time Doppio has to do something, he would call him, boss, what do I do? And he says, all right, calm down, my Doppio, my precious Doppio. Now, what you need to do, please move the box to the left. Make sure the customer is satisfied. Do that and then walk away because I need to go to the bathroom. So go around that corner.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, yeah, I guess a middle manager then. 'Cause he's got to calm me down the associates. He's telling them how
Hmm.
they should be running their business. Okay,
Hmm.
I can see that.
And he's
I do
also
feel like
trying
he,
to undercut his bosses constantly.
yeah,
Hmm.
I once had a
Dio would
manager
not
like
have a
him.
job.
Loa.
I once had a manager like him.
Hey,
yes.
all right, on that note, we done ran through a few scenarios. For those watching, please let us know in the comments who's a character that you think would have a good job or just be trash at a job that they just lucked their way into. But that wraps up today's discussion with players and protagonists. Happy May, and we'll
Wrap it
catch y'all on
up.
the flip side. Peace.
Yes.
Peace.
Ciao, ciao.
Hey,
Like, follow,
see ya.
subscribe.